It doesn't matter what Blizzard does at this point, there's always some kind of glaring issue with World of Warcraft. Let's see what it is this time.
Why new players don't stay in World of Warcraft Dragonfight.
I saw some of your comments about how bad the leveling experience can be. Spending a bit more time in-game, I had an idea. I want to experience this game from a brand new player's perspective. So that's what I'm going to
Big
do.
mistake.
I'm going to level to
Probably.
60 as a new player would to see how bad it really is. First things first, we need to select a server. Oh wow, look at all these servers marked for new players. Well,
Why?
that's hypothetically what I am, so I guess I'll pick Asgalore because it has a
Okay.
cool name. Next, we need to make a character. I want to be a wizard, so I guess I'll be a mage. As for the
Okay.
race, I gotta go
Wow.
Blood Elf because, obviously. One sec, I'm gonna make myself look fabulous. Now I just
Wow.
need a name. There we go.
Not
The
bad.
adventures of Noob McNoobie are about to begin.
Oh, I've raided with him before.
Starting zone? Let's go Exile's Reach because I have legitimately never done it before. Alright,
Yo.
we're all set.
This has already so many different problems. Like, look at this. You need a Wikipedia article with 3 pages just dedicated to understanding what the hell is currently going on here, okay? And then even worse, when you create your character, you're supposed to pick where you're leveling? This is not something a new player wants to see. What's the deal with going here versus there? Am I missing out on something? Oh, this is just horrible right off the bat, honestly.
Because I have legitimately never done it before. Alright, we're all set. Let the adventure begin. Now I want to set some ground rules for this character. I will not use any heirlooms. And obviously, I can't send any gold or items to this character.
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to
Okay.
level mostly through questing, but I'll do the occasional dungeon just to see how it goes at different levels. Alright, loading in, and what is that?
Look at that.
Is that a Chinese gold seller spamming in Mandarin? What the actual F? I'm not really sure how to react to this.
Why?
I see the
In
1
the
to 60 to
cutscene.
70.
Is this real? Like, I know.
Oh my
What
god.
the fuck? Are you kidding me? This
It's
is
true.
insane.
Is this real?
So I'm guessing they're boosting players. Oh, is this because
Well,
they
it's
shut down?
smart though, right? I mean, because
Damn.
that's where you want to sell the carries.
Probably
As soon as
true.
somebody's leveling, oh, you're going to play the game? All right, well, here we go. We're going to post it right here. This was happening 10 years ago. How many of you
Man.
guys remember you were on a server where you'd see fucking a bunch of Chinese letters and then a link of the fucking challenge mode Mists of Pandaria Phoenix and then more Chinese letters and then a website?
Thankfully, I didn't play at that time. I played at a time where in Orgrimmar there was the gold selling website written in flying orcs. That's the time I played at. That was the better time.
Oh my god, we had these
Hilarious.
all up. That's all trade chat was.
WoW in
Nice.
China, and now they're all coming over to American servers through a VPN or something.
Oh, you can see them. Nice.
Experience is coming fast, and I feel very powerful. Frostbolt is easily two-shotting things.
That's
crazy.
stupid.
Okay, when did they stop putting new abilities on your bars at low levels? I thought that I only
Oh.
had Frostbolt. It's not a big deal for me, but a new player
Interesting.
might struggle really hard on this quest that requires you to use abilities they probably wouldn't even know they had. Yes, this is kind of nitpicky, but you gotta remember the
No,
first
it's
hour...
not
No,
nitpicky at all.
definitely not.
Like,
That's
if a player
stupid.
does not intuitively understand like what to do in a game, that's probably the game's fault.
That is the game's
There are
fault.
too many people who are experienced video game enjoyers who are unable to see the
He means losers. He means losers.
world through the eyes of someone who is the uninitiated. The reason why a 5-year-old can use a smartphone is not because the 5-year-old is a fucking genius. It's because of the person that made the smartphone is a fucking genius.
Technically
Broken
true.
MMO is where most players quit. It's stupid, but this could legitimately turn players away from the game if they think the quest is bugged or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ooh,
of
a
course.
group quest. Let's see if I can solo it.
Group Crest
Easy
suggested
peasy.
3.
Wow.
Though I will say I'm
Oh.
starting to feel weaker. Yes, that was supposed to be
That's
a
good.
tougher enemy, but my Frostbolt isn't doing as much as it did, even on normal enemies. And on top of that, it's noticeably slower to cast.
That's
It doesn't feel
okay.
great, but it's a pretty minor complaint at this point.
I'm so sick of games where you just get weaker every level. All you do is get weaker and weaker and weaker. It's so fucking annoying.
Right?
Yo, that's such an absolute L take. There is no game where you want to get stronger and stronger as you level up. No, no, no. You always want to have the challenge. If you have no challenge while leveling up, if enemies are just these things that you need to click on once, it becomes a hustle and it becomes a chore. You want your enemies to actually pose a threat and actually be a real fight. You don't want these things that are the equivalent of, Durtar's get 10 cactus apples click type of things. No, you want your enemies to be actually enemies, not just something you click on once. So, you getting weaker as you level and your enemies actually pose a challenge to you is actually good. It's what you want. If any game does it the opposite way, that game is gonna instantaneously just not survive. That's an absolute L take right there.
Level 10, and they have a fake dungeon for me. This is actually pretty cool. It's teaching new players how to join groups.
Yeah, I think this is good.
Oh yeah, I get to choose my spec. I'll just stick with Frost for now because it's what I've been doing. Another nitpick here, but once you
More
select
reading.
your spec, it should automatically switch over to the talent page. I wouldn't doubt that some new players miss it.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea.
And that's the dungeon. Gotta say, I'm impressed. I think it's simple enough for new players to...
I think Exile's reach was good. Overall, I think that it was good. Like, yeah, sure,
He didn't even lose HP killing the boss. Oof. The enemies seem like chores more than anything else. What's the point of defeating something if it doesn't feel rewarding? If you're defeating something without it feeling rewarding, it's just a hustle.
there are things they could do better, but overall, it was good.
understand, and it teaches them some pretty basic things like don't stand in bad stuff. Overall, I'd give this intro zone an 8 out of 10. It
High?
feels a bit hand-holdy for me,
I'd say
but I've
9,
played the game for
personally.
years.
I think it's great.
My only real gripes are that new players might have a hard time finding their spellbook and talent trees.
Probably
Alright,
true.
we're out of the starting zone. Now time to start the real adventure. I've decided to level through Battle for Azeroth. And yes, I know how much I've roasted it in my earlier video, but I have two
Oh.
reasons for this. First is that it's the expansion the game guides you to by default, so I would assume
Well, then
most...
you should obviously do that one because
Guides
that's what
you to?
that's what a player that's trying the game out is going to do. They're going to see this is the one they want me to do. I'll just do this one.
True.
new players would choose it. And two, I haven't unlocked the allied races from there yet, so I see it as a two birds, one
birds,
stone
yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
There it
And
is.
to make it fair, I won't let my criticisms of the story affect how I rate the leveling experience. And there's level 20,
Fast.
gained from exploration. So my overall item level is 20, but I got these pants that are item level 54, and my heirlooms that I'm not using would
Oh
be
my God.
54 as well. That's a bit far behind, but it's not too terrible yet.
Far behind, you haven't seen anything that's far behind. I retried World of Warcraft when Shadowlands came out, and I started fresh with an undead rogue. And the most crazy, stupid thing happened. And this completely made me hate the leveling experience. So, at the undead starting zone for rogues, you got like one quest at the start that gives you a weapon upgrade. And I didn't choose the weapon upgrade because I thought there's going to be other weapons lying around here and there, right? And the other item was just so much better for the situation. So I just didn't pick the weapon upgrade. And I did every single quest in so many zones. And I was almost max level, and my weapon was white. I'm not kidding. I did not receive any drops in the dungeons, even though I spammed it. I did not get a weapon upgrade, and I was playing daggers. It was horrible. And the worst part is, I was still killing mobs so easy. And my weapon was like level 7, and I was like 40 or something like that. That is insane. The fact that can happen, and you know what's the worst part? At some point when I was max level, I finally got a dagger upgrade. It finally dropped. And that dagger was unironically like 6 times stronger than my level 7 dagger that I was using all game long, okay? For 4 hours or 8 hours or how many hours I was playing that. And I equip it, and you know what happens? I don't even kill stuff faster. I don't even kill stuff faster. The gear score, the gear you get, is completely negligible because the game is gonna auto-scale you up to whatever it needs you to be. So your upgrades literally make no difference. You're still gonna be one-shotting things, and can you imagine how bad it felt when I finally got my weapons upgrade, and I was not even a tiny bit stronger even though I was in the end game? I almost quit right there on the spot because of that. It was so bad.
I will say that I feel significantly weaker than I did at the start. Frostbolt feels like a wet noodle now.
Yeah.
But if I get a
Little fun fact here: when was the last time he saw another new player?
fingers of
Probably
frost
never.
proc, I can kill things pretty quick still. I've decided to do a dungeon. Looks like the wait time for DPS is about 6 minutes. That's not too bad.
I think that
While
was the same
Passion
for
is
me.
leveling in the background, I want to thank all you guys for commenting in my other video. That was super cool of you. So I figured I'd respond to some of them. Benjamin said, "Not a great take at all." Well,
Classic comment section right there.
Okay. Well, never mind then. I guess I'm wrong.
Yeah, don't bother.
we all have different opinions. Fry said, "Good effing video."
Wow.
Thanks, man.
Better.
Boomer Bill said, "I don't think we needed a video about you not liking WoW story. It's cool that you like being a nobody. Maybe there's a game where you can do that." It doesn't
Bruh.
Just like a boomer. Exactly what I would expect him to say.
In the name of
seem
the
like you finished the
username.
video, but that's okay. I didn't really need you to. Maybe there are some videos out there that you can enjoy. Anthony said,
Look at him one-shotting
video.
the mobs. Well, that's so sad. He's doing a chore. He's doing a job, not actually getting rewarded for his experience. Kill 12 of X. Oh my god, that is so lame. And he's one-shotting them. Might as well just click on something 10 times and get it over. But the leveling, if this is the leveling experience, it's just sad.
"Video. Thanks. I appreciate it. A couple of people disagree with me on the Chosen One aspect, which is fine. If you like it, great. I just happen to not like it."
You know what I think? I think being the chosen one in the story is completely irrelevant.
As long as it's done good.
Because the Final Fantasy story, you've been fucking foretold by this magic crystal mommy, and she says that you're really special. You know what? You're the most special. Everybody
True.
likes you. And you just go around and you just solve everybody's problems. Wow. There's a fucking elemental force of nature that's terrorizing the world. Oh, just go kill him. Okay.
True. But I get it why people are upset about the "you're the chosen one" thing. Because that's literally our lives for the past 10 years. 99% of games literally use the same thing. "Ah, you're the chosen one. Congratulations." You know, you just literally made your character, you just spawned in and there's someone already pointing at you. Hey, you're the chosen one. And you're like, me? I'm the chosen one? Yeah, you're the chosen one. Go save the world. But I'm just the Uber Eats guy. Now it doesn't matter. Now you're the chosen Uber Eats guy. That is your life. And it's kind of lame. And in World of Warcraft, you know, the meme was going around that the Magni Bronzebeard thing was champion! It's time to save the multiverse from Thanos once again. We need your help. And at the same time, some kid in the park is literally forcing you to pick up poop as a quest. You know? Things like that. It doesn't really sit well with anyone if it's done badly.
That's done. And you know what? You're level 20 when you do that. You're level 30. Who the fuck cares? So...
No.
It was
Real talk, most people actually don't read quiz dialogue. That's also a thing. As long as it's done good, no one cares. If you could be a level 1 saving the world from an Armageddon dragon.
it was a great story. I loved it. I thought it was great. So I actually, before Final Fantasy, I would have had the outlook that being the chosen one in the story is bad.
Because
But
it's
after
done
that,
bad.
I actually don't think so. I think that you can tell a great story where you're just a random adventurer that does random things, like in classic World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
And I think that you can also tell a great story, like in Final Fantasy. Lost Ark's the same. Yeah, Lost Ark, bro. Like,
Yeah, you are the chosen one there.
Like, don't you get to fuck one of the like, she's like the queen of the city, and you could fuck her?
No?
I mean, this is some chosen one energy here. Absolutely, Sasha. No, she's like
No.
second in command. No, they're like, it's the other one.
Sasha's one of the
fucking,
best,
what's
though.
her name? And Vern.
Okay, I got all the report maxed out in Lost Ark. You don't get to do that with any of them. You just get to have teehee, hand-holdy, sweaty times. That's pretty much the max it gets.
Oh, God. I don't remember
The
what
elf
her name
one
was.
in the main
But,
city.
yeah.
First
There's
one.
two of them. Ellen. Yeah, there you go.
Oh.
Another thing I want to touch on here is that there's a gray area between being the chosen one and a random hobo.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me when somebody calls me a champion, but it feels forced and weird when I'm called the champion. Arthur said, Dragonflight is the worst expansion of all time. I'm sorry you feel that
Probably
way,
not.
and I hope you find something you enjoy playing. Legitimately. I don't mean that sarcastically. JJ seems to have not watched the video at all.
He's just
and
one-shotting
guessed how it went.
things.
Thanks for commenting.
It's always a bad idea to bring up these comments,
No, they're funny.
because you have to understand that the people that make comments like this dog is smarter than he is.
Probably.
And this picture is from like fucking 2006, so the dog's probably dead now. The dog's
Leave it to Asmongold to, as always, insert a dead animal joke or something like that. 10 out of 10.
probably still smarter than he is.
True, though. JJ.
That's just how it is. The people, they're fucking dumb, man.
Anyways, quite a few people disagree with me on Legion, which again is fine, but I guess I'll explain my stance on it. As a story, I think the overarching story is good, but I hate that it's forced through the perspective of me being the chosen one. Mechanically, as a leveling zone,
Legion's story is stupid, okay? Every time travel is implemented in something, chances are it's done poorly, and Legion's whole concept was stupid.
and I'll admit there's not really much difference.
Yeah, it's because people don't give a shit about that. Good expansion besides PvP and the insanely shit RNG. The people that are rating the expansion, people rate WoW expansions based off of the content that they do them in. So if you say that Legion was bad, and you're talking about the story, they're going to be like, no, it wasn't. I loved Mythic Plus. You're wrong.
Yeah,
But you're talking about two different things.
yeah.
That's
That's
between any of
normal,
the
though.
expansions, but I absolutely hate the exposition dump quests where you just stand there waiting for NPCs to talk. And as for when it was the current expansion, it felt like Blizzard doubled down on a lot of things that drove me away in the first place. Mission tables, Titan forging, artifacts,
Oh, yeah.
artifact power, welfare legendaries, way too much
welfare.
RNG, and of course, the Chosen One thing. It's
Probably.
cool if you liked it. I personally didn't. And finally, Swaglord YOLO says, "Okay, boomer." Weren't you that guy that got banned in Classic for AFKing Battlegrounds? Ooh, there's my dungeon. These dinosaurs can wait.
Smart
And it's
guy.
already in progress. Let's hope this is not a bad sign.
Okay.
Okay, that wasn't too bad. And I got some fat loots from it, which is item level 64. That's pretty
Dungeons-
good. It's weird that
Dungeons in World of Warcraft don't feel impactful. Okay, they're just Zoomer festivals at this point. Honestly, the faster you go zippity zoomity, the better it is, and everyone's just trying to go do it. You don't even look at the things in the dungeon. You know, the exposition doesn't matter. You know, and the loot doesn't
DFA
matter.
randoms don't give you the satchel of helpful goods. I think those should definitely be added to every expansion's dungeons because I suspect my item level is going to get
Wait,
really
why would it? Yeah, I didn't even know that didn't happen.
bad later on. There's level 30.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta say, I'm getting pretty weak. Outside of Flurry and Fingers of Frost, my damage is pitiful. And I kind of know what I'm doing.
That's
I can
because
only
your
imagine
spec
how
is
this would
weak,
feel for a
probably.
new player. So my item level is up to 55, and my heirlooms would be at 82, which is not great, but I have managed to progress from 34 below to 27 below, so maybe my hypothesis of item level getting worse was mistaken, and it's just a scaling issue. Anyways, I'm going to do another dungeon.
Okay.
Alright, there's the dungeon. Let's see how this goes.
Oh boy.
Oh, I know this
Oh
one.
boy, somebody's already dead, and I have no idea what's going on. Alright, that was a bit rough, but we made it through without wiping. And I got another piece of
Yeah,
loot.
this was a good dungeon. I like this dungeon a lot.
It's not
was fun.
hard. I did this one. It's
Which is
not
item level
hard.
92.
But it's annoying.
Too bad I can't equip it because it's a mace. I thought that wasn't supposed to happen. Alright, there's 40. And I feel weaker still. I know people are going to argue that the game should get harder as you progress, but this isn't even a difficulty thing. The mobs aren't getting harder. They're just getting more tedious.
And this is the problem with,
Probably,
like,
yeah.
because this is always the way the game was, where it got hard. Like, for example, whenever you're level 15, it's easier for you to kill mobs than whenever you're level 50. The way that WoW solved that is that you were killing different mobs. Whenever you have scaling and you have people that are leveling in the same areas for too long, they start to feel how they're getting outscaled by the mobs. Now, this should be solved with better leveling. And leveling that, like, you're going to different places. Because, yeah, if you're fighting brown orcs, and then you're fighting green orcs, and then, oh, you get up to the red orcs, and then, oh my god, they're...
He literally just described every single enemy type in New World.
really hard to kill. Bro, they're just a higher level. They have more base health.
Yeah.
Like, what's really the difference between that and scaling? Functionally, there isn't any. But it feels bad. And I think that the way something feels in a video game matters a lot. Even if you think, oh, well, that's not logically the way that things should work. And, you know, whenever you really think about it, it would not work that way because actually you are getting more powerful. Your damage is getting higher. You have more tools. You know, they're over-engineered damage for it. Exactly. But, like, the way that it's solved is by having players go to different places very regularly or to progress through the different areas.
Frostbolt went from
guess.
2-shotting things with a 1.5 second cast time to 10-shotting things with a 2-second cast time. It feels bad, and now even my cheese combo of Flurry, Frost Orb, Ice Lance isn't even killing things as fast as it did.
What a surprise.
Anyways, my item level is up to 85, which is around where it should have been 9 levels ago, and my heirlooms would be at 113, which puts me at 28.
It's probably his spec, though. Maybe Frost is just super bad for leveling. For example, when I was playing the Rogue, I couldn't actually use one spec because I just did like 1/3 of the damage my other 2 specs did. I'm not sure was it because of the weapon or was it poorly balanced, but there was just a spec I couldn't touch while leveling because my damage was... Every normal mob was a raid boss at that point because my damage was non-existent with that spec. But with everything else, it was just like snap, cheeky, and it's gone. So easy.
8 below, which is slightly worse than it was 10 levels ago. Level 50. My item level is now 111. Heirlooms would be at 145, which puts me at 34 item levels below. I finally noticed that I hadn't picked up the talent Lonely Winter, which is just a straight up 25% damage boost.
That would help.
So after I got that, things got a bit
Damn.
quicker. Frostbolt still is a
And
limp
it's, again,
little...
you got to keep in mind that, like, a new player is dumb as fuck. You know why? Because they're new.
They're not
So
going to read all
they probably
of that.
wouldn't have picked that one up either.
Yeah, you don't want to read the
Unless I'm
Wikipedia.
comboing Flurry with Fingers of Frost, kill times are really slow. Level 55 now. And I gotta say, it's getting dicey. The time to kill enemies has gotten rather annoying.
Well, let's
and
see
I can
it.
easily die if I'm not careful. I did do another dungeon,
That's
which
good,
was a bit
kinda.
grueling, and I managed to score 3 pieces of loot.
I mean, if you're playing like trash, you should be punished for it, you know? You should be playing good.
None of which I was capable of equiping, so yay, I
That's
guess.
so stupid. Why would you give... that's so dumb.
That was my problem!
And finally, level 60. Those last few levels were rough. I expect a new player would have died quite a few times if they didn't just give up.
It's too bad he didn't show more
My
of the
item level
combat.
just went
Yeah,
up to
true.
144. Heirlooms at this level would be at 183. So I'm 39 item levels below. That's a pretty big difference, and it shows. I
Wow.
have never felt weaker. Even using my CDs, my damage is not great. This really goes to show how bad the scaling is for content pre-Dragonflight, especially from 50.
But you're actually supposed to use your CDs. I don't know, I use CDs constantly, you know? Pop the Shadow Dance every time it's off cooldown. One mob, pop it anyway. You're supposed to play it with CDs, even though that is counterintuitive to new players, I think.
To 60. My title might seem like clickbait, but honestly, this is a bad experience for new players. Now, I know
Well, I think that one of the big reasons why it's a bad experience is that, like, you didn't even interact with any other players. Even inside of the dungeon, like, I see the chat. I guess you guys don't see it because my camera's in the way. They're not even talking to each other.
They
like,
never
you're just
do.
effectively playing a shitty single-player game.
Zoomer effect,
So, yeah, big surprise people aren't going to stick around. Of course not.
know that many of you are thinking this is so they can sell the character boosts, but honestly, I think it's
No.
a bad sales tactic.
It's
If
just,
a player
it's
levels
just bad.
from, say, 1 to 40, the chances of them buying the boost are probably pretty slim.
Yeah, because they're already halfway invested. They're going to feel like, oh, well, I'm wasting money if I buy
Yeah.
the boost now. And also, if they're not enjoying the game, why would they pay money to play the game more if they are already not enjoying it the more they play it? It's just like, it doesn't make sense.
I mean,
True.
they've already gotten this far, and if they decide to buy it right off the bat, their action bars will be immediately filled with a bunch of abilities they have no clue on how to use.
I think that you should not be able to buy a boost until you level 1 character naturally. I think it's a huge mistake.
But what are
allowing
the
people to
gold
boost right at
sellers
the
gonna
beginning.
do?
Because you have no fucking idea what you're doing.
The gold sellers need this boost, okay? It speeds up their progress so much. Blizzard just can't get rid of the gold boost because that would be unfair to the gold sellers.
Like, it's not fun to just be given 20 different abilities. You don't know how any of these things work together. You have 3 different systems that these abilities work together with. Like, how could it, like, fuck that.
They lose either way. And all of this is even
Yeah, you're
before
setting
we
people up
mention
for
the
failure,
narrative
exactly.
mess that is leveling in WoW. Putting my personal opinions aside of the story, new players are expected to go through this grandiose story, only for it to be cut off before they get any payout of it. You hit 60,
That was an actual strength of classic World of Warcraft. You got a new ability, and you would get a new ability so much later. Then you already knew how to use your old ability. You know, even if you didn't read it, you still probably, just because of the amount of time it took to level up, knew what the ability does and when to use it. That was a strength, but here you're literally getting flooded with stuff. You need the Wikipedia article to figure out what's happening here. Look at this, insane. And that's probably, 2 hours of game time. Yeah, learn all of this in 2 hours of game time. It's more reading than playing.
don't worry about that big bad you've been chasing. It's time to go to the Dragon Isles for
Yeah,
a
he's
completely
dead.
different story. But let's give them the benefit of the doubt and say the new player got this far. They hit Dragonflight and have a good time getting the rest of the way to max level. In fact,
Do they?
get so into the game that they want to start doing harder content. So of course, they start looking for a guild. Now remember the first decision I made at the start of the video. That's right. I selected one of the new player realms. Or in other words, a dead realm. Guess they gotta buy a transfer now. I know why things are this way. It's easier to just leave it. Dragonflight is
Funny.
their focus, and it shows. They don't want to waste the resources on the rest of the game. Also, they want you to press these buttons. A new player already has to spend $15 per month of subscription.
6 faction changes for
Damn.
$95.
The fact that they
6
have it
character
there,
transfers for $80.
people buy that. People wanted that.
What the hell are you talking about?
Amazing.
What the fuck is this shit? What is this? Like, why?
Sad.
Bro, WoW players are like,
Sad.
they've only played one and I'm a WoW player. I used to be like this. They've only played one game for the last 15 years. Well, of course it's like that. That's how it is.
Reasonable.
Well, yeah. That's just how it is. And that's that's all there is to it.
Good stuff.
So
And another
stupid.
50 or so once they get to Dragonflight. Now they
Oh
need to spend
my
more
God.
if they want to have a good experience. To
Wow,
be
they can almost afford Diablo 4.
fair, after leveling to 60 without heirlooms, these buttons are definitely more compelling than they were at the start, and probably even more so for someone inexperienced in the game. But I think I've found an even more compelling button to press.
You know what? You know what Blizzard should actually do? Looking at this level 60 boost, They should make this scale with your level. You know, if you want a level 60 boost, but you're level 50, you're probably not going to buy it. What Asmon says is true. But what if the boost cost less? And what if you made the last, like, 10 levels super annoying and bad? So people want to buy the boost, and it's like, not 60, but like 20. 20 for 10 levels when your experience is super bad, not that bad of a deal. Blizzard, get to it. There's money to be made.
So for someone inexperienced in the game.
Okay. I might watch that tomorrow. I don't know if I want to watch that today. I'm going to look at
Oh,
something
that's
else
it?
now. Let's see. WoW is insanely outdated. It's just crazy how bad it is, man. Like, I don't even know what to say. Like,
The glory days
I'm
are
sorry
gone.
to say, but like, this is a good video because I think it goes to show like the monotony, the drudgery, and just the boredom that leveling a new character really provides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine you're fighting a mob and it's just an obstacle because you need to click on it one time. That's what we saw in the video. He was shooting down those mobs in like 2 or 3 seconds. Like, that's not rewarding. That feels like a chore.
Yeah, this is a great video. This guy's always got 1,000 subscribers, and I'll give him a like and subscribe to his channel. I think this is
Yeah, I'm sure that's gonna do a lot.
this is good. Part of the
Oh.
issue is there's 20 years worth of content that has to exist in a game somewhere.
True.
No, they could solve it. It would be so easy to solve
That would not be easy. They would have to literally delete it.
it, but they don't want to because they're too busy trying to make people work in the office, trying to justify a multi-million-dollar building rather than fixing the game, which is why they have the building in the first place.
Kinda true. Twitter's working on 20% of its previous employment. 10 out of 10.
Just streamline new player experience. Yeah, they definitely should. I think that, like, I feel like the problem with WoW right now, like retail WoW, is you need a new game. There's 500 different mounts, 300 different titles, thousands of different pets, 50,000, like 10,000 different transmog items.
No new player cares about that shit, okay? That's a non-issue.
200 different raids, 500 different dungeons,
That's an
7
issue.
different expansions. Like, it's just too many, man. Like, it's just too much going on. Like, oh, well, this is from the seasonal reward.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same thing as if you want to be good at PoE, you know? Path of Exile, you need to literally read 50 Wikipedia articles, 50 extra pages, so you understand some basic things that you need to do in the late game to actually be able to do high-tier content and make a really strong character. No one wants to do that. I want to play the game. Everyone wants to play the game, not read a book about how you should play the game.
From the 4th season of Battle for Azeroth that came out in 2020. Like, oh, this is for getting Gladiator and Legion the 2nd season at the beginning of the expansion. Like, oh my god, man. What is this? There's so much in the game. You need a reset. The game needs a fucking reset. And this is speaking of somebody who's collected fucking everything in the game. It needs a
What a fucking waste of time to collect everything in the game. Admittedly, I do have maxed out Report in Lost Ark, and I have done maxed out every daily that you can... No, not every daily, but the Una tasks, I also have literally done all of them to 100%. But that's less work than this, okay? That was only 1,000 hours in Lost Ark, roughly, to do all of that. So, I'm fine.
reset. None of it matters. Like, it's all just fucking pixels. Like, yeah, it's cool and I'm happy that I got it and it's great. But what really matters is like the pursuit of it. That's the, like, I remember whenever I got, for example, in PoE, whenever I got Calm's Heart, the day that I got Calm's Heart was the day I stopped playing the game. I did it. I beat the game. I got the chess piece I wanted. I saved up all my currency. It's like, wait, was...
That's a different issue, though. That's you running out of goals to do. World of Warcraft technically has 1 trillion goals for you to do.
It's like 2015, 14 or something like that. It's like right whenever it was like I went back and checked. I don't have the legacy one. It is the 500 health one, not the 1000.
Sucks.
However, I had this chess piece and I had wanted it more than anything, and I got it.
And that's the end of the video.
Because
Well, this was pretty interesting anyway. Like, subscribe, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.